Playing for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It's a blue Terran. Let's give it up for Cure. Ooh. And in the top left instead, playing for Alpha X. Just felling another Terran. Can he beat two of them? It's RAGNAROK. Alright, alright. What is going on over here? It's one. This is two. In a second. Alright, alright. Just the two. Just the two of us. Will Yola spot it? No, it won't. Oh. Will it spot it? No, it won't. RAGNAROK completely dodging this location. He didn't even go for a 16 pull. He has gone for a 16 pull so many times. He went for 16 pull 3 times in the previous series against the Terran. And here on Cosmic Sapphire, he barely misses the... Oh no, not again. Not again, he barely misses it again. Oh no, this is so unlucky. Look at this. He just basically danced around his location. Wow, that's so unlucky. Bunker is going up and it's still out of vision, and surprise, surprise! There's a bunker over there, and this is a crazy choke point. Cosmic Sapphire is just such a good map to proxy. Mostly because of this incredible choke point that is so impossibly hard to break once the Terran gets hold of this location. Yeah, this archery is going down, guys. There's a Spine Crawler incoming, Leans are incoming as well, but yeah, like... I don't really see these proxies stopping anytime soon, and I can see this archery definitely going down. The Queen will... No, I don't think even the Queen will survive. Yeah, the Queen will try to fight back, but yeah, it will be chased down. It's just too far from the ramp. Yeah, another Queen is in the production. It looks like RAGNAROK is waiting for the right moment to strike. The Spinecrawler is finished. The Spinecrawler is such a huge part of this. We will see if Kir decides to keep his focus onto these archery. He will shift the focus onto the Spinecrawler. So many drones are going to be pulled for his defense as well. The archery keeps its stand. Now the drones are going to chase around his last few Marines. Will the Queen has already fallen, by the way. No transfuse going on to the Spinecrawler. The Spinecrawler still survives, still going at it. Not a lot of workers have died for RAGNAROK at all. And this will be broken. This proxy will be broken. What a defense. What a mad lad. He lost one drone in this defense. This was arguably better for RAGNAROK than it was for Cure. Yes, he killed 2 queens. 2 queens is... 2 queens, right? Yeah. Losing 2 queens early in the game is just... It's just terrible. Still keeping one for injecting at least one of your archeries is still decent. But yeah, you can see, like, you have to make a decision. And sooner rather than later, you have to start spreading creep. Especially since an opponent that has proxied you is most likely to try and play aggressive onto you again. We see the 2-1-1 ongoing for Cure, and it probably will lead to be something aggressive, some kind of drop. There's a lot of damage onto these archery. It will not be surprising to me if Cure decides to double it up on this and try to snap this down. Oh, double command center. That wasn't really what I was expecting. It doesn't feel like Cure has dealt enough damage to justify this. Yes, killing the queens, like killing 2 queens in the early stages of the game, I often say this and I stand by it. I do feel like it's the best way to rate this. Losing 2 queens hurts just as bad as losing an archery. Probably a little bit more than losing an archery, especially if it's the first 2 queens. Because you can see crit spread being absolutely terrible right now. In a stage in the game in which is not really that useful, but it still helps. Especially against aliens, which are not going to be the thing happening for Cure, luckily for RAGNAROK right now. Second thing being, like, right now we see these 2 archers being injected, but they haven't been injected for a long time. And you can see this by just looking at the work curve over here. 34 against 31, with the third base going up right now, and having two archeries against a single command center out of your opponent for so much longer than it's usual. This ratio over here, like right now it's a little bit better due to the inject starting right now, but it was bad for a while. Cosmic Sapphire, of course, in the crazy map that it is, has two very peculiar bases, this one and this, not this one, sorry, this one, with the Rich Vespine Geyser. Meaning that the later the game goes, the more outmost bases become important, and the harder they are to deal with, because like you're one screen away from your opponent basically at all times once it gets to late game. It's such a crazy map. I love it that it's the first map of the set. Let's drop a clock for Cure, sending units out. He's actually still blooded. Slowly but steadily recovering health, but not really steadily enough. Ready, medivacs out. Here they are. With the help of the Viking, they will try to dodge around vision and look for the drop into the main. Maybe one single link will get a little bit of scouting information. We'll see this early command center. We'll probably know that this was a free command center play. Marines will steam forward over here. Another queen floats down. Actually, two queen. Oh my god, this is terrible. This is. Oh no, 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 no. You're just spawning pool. This is almost a GG moment, guys. Yeah. Drop those transfuses. No, the spawning pool falls down. What a crazy drop by Cure. Kills two queens out of the 6 of Ragnarok and stops him from producing more for such a long time by snapping down a spawning pool as well. +1/+1 is incoming for the Zer player, as well as Baneling speed, and yeah, and turning these into a lair is a very good choice. This to say healthy. And what was it? Yeah, and the more and more drones to justify his previous losses. The Spinecrawler is trying to get backwards. There's so many Marines over here. Oh, if this archery goes down, like, we just stop out, I think. Oh no. Cure finds yet more damage. These medivacs are very bruised. The Viking lands on the ground. Yeah, GG gets cold. Cure mercilessly ending Ragnarok in game number 1. We stand out opener on both sides. Ragnarok just sparing a single drone for a little while longer. And will slow down his progression by like mere 5 to 10 seconds. Just to make sure he didn't die to proxies, which is a very fair trade, I shall say. This time he will probably try to keep his queens closer to his chest than before. We'll also probably try to send a couple of links over here to gain control of the watchtower, at least to fend drops for a little while. And like at a moment in which you don't really have overloads to spare, just having one link over here never hurts. He's probably expecting to see probably Marines already being there. Oh well, yeah. He's gonna try to chase down this Marine before he can kill the overload. And he will actually manage to. Losing a couple links, getting a little bit of scouting information. Not the worst overall. This Rex will chase down the overload without being able to do much. Will be greeted by the queens already being in position. Drones being spread to. Oh no, they're very much in line right now. Oh no. RAGNAROK with a little bit of a blunder would lose 7 drones. Like, I do see the idea to trap the aliens, but one thing is to trap the aliens, one thing is just to line your drones perfectly into a choke point. And the aliens say thank you very much, RAGNAROK, and will get 7 kills in a very, very deadly spot in the game. At least this time RAGNAROK has a lot of queens to inject these hatcheries and just be a little bit safer. Yeah, losing an overload in the moment in which you need larva, like you need air, basically, is not the best. But you can see 4 overloads being produced. And a larva cycle being kind of delayed for a little bit longer than RAGNAROK will want to. Some decent macro problems I see over here for RAGNAROK in these situations in which he finds himself damaged by the early game of the Terran player. He has good reactions against the Liberator at least. Not really able to get anything done, getting just 1 single kill. But at this stage, maybe even that matters. Maybe. I'm not sure. It does feel like RAGNAROK has been still steadily reaching the 66 dream count of drones. Well, it is approaching that at least. Crit spread, of course, is hurting a little bit due to queens being spread around for defense, not really able to fend off these aliens, and due to the nature of Stargazers being honestly very hard to arm up to defend crit spread. There's just so many different positions in which you can approach the crit spread, and being forced to spread it into possibly 4 different locations also is kind of terrible. Yeah, you can see like over here, not connecting these 2 bases is just pretty damn bad, not gonna lie. You can feel this once it comes to just moving queens from here to defend. Like right now, connecting this position over here is of course much better, but queens need to move fast to react against aliens, and yeah, like this is why the watchtower is so important. There's creep teamers spread over here to see that this drop is happening, but yeah, like this is not a huge choke point. Like there's a lot of lanes over here to deal with this. Here we just collect everything and move out. Forcing actions out of RAGNAROK at this stage is just decent. Especially on a map such as Stargazers, in which you have to spread yourself pretty thin once you get to 4 bases, because defending on 4 bases isn't easy. Defending on 5, yeah, that's kind of a nightmare, especially if you don't take the pocket. And as a Zerg player, taking the pocket is not as easy as it sounds. And you can see this by here just dropping over here for basically for free, without being able to control the watchtower. Here has a very easy time getting over here, and very easy time fending off the link-only army of RAGNAROK as well. Kind of a bloodbath. Honestly, this dropped down much more than I was envisioning. Aliens will try to dive over here. They will get on top of the crit tumor instead. But they're fighting down the choke point. The Widowmine shot will get so many links. Oh my god, the Impalings as well. Yeah, these Widowmines do not forgive at all. Sure. Finds himself in a dream position right now. Still has a drop incoming over here in the top. Another drop incoming. Maybe a couple of Banelings will be sniped down. And over here, hiding behind side blockers, waiting for these Albats to recover their health. And 2 more full Medivacs join over here at the pocket of RAGNAROK. Ready to get on the high ground and strike even harder than before. RAGNAROK taking the 5th base over here. But he's in a very bad situation right now. He has a good economy, but that's basically it. Scan forward will ensure that Cure manages to kill all of the group tumors into the main base of Ragnarok. Oh! Widowmine shots! Killing a couple Marines as well, but in the end, these Widowmines are just the absolute MVPs, as always. Destroying the army of lanes of Ragnarok. The Berserk able to bite back in any significant way. Ragnarok is handling the storm though, and that is more than would have been possible for most of the Zerg players in the planet, I think. Very, very interesting mid to late game transition. Ragnarok has been clearly slowed down by this. You can see by the army of Cure just growing out of control right now and leading up to a lot of damage being dealt in every single position. The quick spread being absolutely terrible. Ragnarok as well. But his tech is kind of reaching the stage in which you want it to be. Ragnarok is gonna have pretty much perfectly normally timed hive tech. His upgrades are not looking that great, but he has the Hydra then, he can get lurkers, and after that he can get easier to defend. Scan forward will ensure Cure that is there's nothing too scary over here on the high ground. Little plating being researched. Over here Cure moving on the bottom as well, trying to find some more damage, trying to stop Ragnarok on his trucks before he can do anything. Over here, dropping the main will be deflected, but these Widowmines are just getting so much damage on top of whatever they can find. The hive incoming. Again, pretty much at the center, no more timing. Just barely not in the right position. The pre-spreads from Cure are also very good, and yeah, it doesn't look like this Baneling mine will do too much. Over here. Yeah, just completely dodged. That's unlucky. That's pretty unlucky for Ragnarok. This could have been wonderful, and it ended up being absolutely nothingness. Here comes the Banelings forward from Ragnarok, dealing with some of the Marines, but the tanks are leapfrogging forward, and they're getting closer and closer to this archery over here. Both players are maxed out right now. Ragnarok finally found a way to regain his footage in this game, and here comes the Banelings out of the ground. Not really getting the dream connections, but just allowing enough time for the Hydras to come into position and deal with the tanks. Over here instead, oh, those were good connections from the Banelings. Yeah, Cure lost quite a lot of his army right now. The Spire is incoming, the Hydras are chasing down the Medivacs. And this is how you hold as a Zerg player, everybody. This was nothing good for Ragnarok for 10 minutes straight. Absolutely nothing. Everything was going the way of Cure. Like literally everything. But in the end, Ragnarok was able to survive, and that's all he needed. This game is, of course, very even right now. It's anyone's to take, sorry. But the Hydras are setting up a very good concave. They're dealing with the tanks alongside the links. Just one single tank over here. The Medivacs are doing their best, but this tank is most likely going down before he can drop too many shots. The army of Cure is not looking that great. The Banelings will get good connections over here on the right side, but tanks have been moving into this location over here right now, trying to siege up. It's not a lot on the way for Ragnarok. He's still trying to send units in, like, kind of at waves. There's still tanks being spread around, there's still Widowmines being spread around. Not in the right position over here, though. A couple workers will fall down for Cure. But, yeah, the attacks will be fent off. Like, yeah, that... Maybe Ragnarok beat a little bit more than he could chew, I don't know. Still a lot of Banelings, still a lot of Hydras. Greater Spire is happening right now, as well as +3/+3 for both the players. Ragnarok looking to find a little bit more damage over here. The tank is in a very deadly position though, you cannot really break this. Ragnarok acknowledges this and moves backwards. Some drop alert action incoming, maybe. Alright, just a bunch of leans and some drop alerts, ready to get on top of the production of Cure, maybe. Over here, Cure will try to stop the Golden Bees from ever laying eggs. For the Zerg players, so many drones would probably lose their lives over here as well. +3/+3 kicks in just right now for Cure. Recovers all of its units inside the medivacs and flies away. The lost supply from Ragnarok will be replenished with Corruptors, ready to turn into Brulets when the need arises. Ragnarok trying to at least trade supply with his opponent. He needs to freeze on supply for more Corruptors. He has 9 Brulets, which is a significant number. But he wants to start, like, mowing down these bases of cure from bottom to top. And what a better way to start it than to free one of the 2 locations from the army of the Terran player. The drop loads over here are still waiting for their moment. And I think they waited a little bit too long. Gonna move in right now, but yeah. Cure now knows what's up. Gonna react to it. And honestly, these links are never gonna do anything. Yeah, they're just... everything's just going to die right now. Over here though, the Brulets are marching forward. There's not much in the way of defense. There's not a single Ghost, there's not a single Thor, not a single Viking. Yeah, these Brulets are free to do whatever they want. The Ghosts are starting to be popping out of those wrecks right now. But it's a little bit too late. Lots and lots of workers, of bases, and key units for Cure are gonna fall down to these Brulets before he's able to do anything about it. 2 Vikings, 4 Ghosts, and 1 Thor. Every single counter at once. You can see these knights being absolutely crazy good. Lowering the amount of Brulets to 6. One of them is very bruised as well and is gonna be sniped down by another Ghost. 26 workers have been falling down for Cure though. Ragnarok's army is really bad right now though. Like, especially with these Brulets trying to cut backwards and just to be steamed upon by the Marines. Yeah. Both the Brulets are probably gonna be sacked. 48 more Lings and 7 Hydras are incoming. This was a good attack by Ragnarok. It dealt a huge blow to the economy of Cure. But now Cure ends up having such a better army than his opponent. Moving out, he's gonna snap down this Golden. He's probably gonna look for more blood. The Lurker then will be hitting in about a minute when Seismic Spines will be started. And after that, goes Adaptive Talents. Stationary armies are pretty decent on Stargazers if you decide to play defensively, which is just not something Ragnarok can afford right now, I think. Not with a better economy than his opponent. He needs to constantly be trading supply with him, even slightly inefficiently, as long as he maybe he's able to find some more damage onto the economy of Cure. Maybe, yeah, like exactly. Like this was what I was envisioning. Maybe finding a way into his main, especially with this thing over here granting vision. Another drop alert drop. Will send some Lings in, and this time they will deal some damage onto the production. They will find their way into a mineral line. They will not get too much, but they will force some mining time out of this base over here. 12 Lurkers incoming, that's a lot of Vespene. Of course Ragnarok has a lot of Vespene, like being constantly producing Lings leads to this. The Knight is up. Yeah, these drop loads are gonna be turning into Overseers. The Lurkers are into the Nidus actually. And yeah, this is going up 100%. Cure not really reacting to this. He's trying to move his army over here on the bottom right, but his economy, his production is gonna be ravaged by these Lurkers. Yeah, these bad boys, they do not miss. They're gonna deal so much damage over here on the bottom right. Cure is trying to bite back. Will he be able to do that? There's so many Banelings marching forward, rolling into their death, meaning that also this Bio army will be melting to acid. More and more Banelings are incoming over here. Adaptive Talents is about to finish. You can see these Lurkers being leapfrogged forward. Ragnarok losing a lot of overloads of his and right now, both players working with very little in both locations. finally, here comes this knight alongside the scan. And these lurkers are gonna fall down one after the other, but the production of Cure has already been ravished, while Ragnarok was able to keep his bottom right base alive. His quick spread is terrible. Oh, he's moving forward, he's looking for these tanks, he's looking for more and more in damage economy. The lurkers have been cleared one by one. I don't really see why these lings just decided to dive on top of everything instead of just getting inside the Nidus and going there. It's a weird game. Again, Ragnarok resetting basically to his army previously. Oh, these lings are still hidden over here. And don't think he wants to make use of the Nidus anymore. Maybe a Nidus over here, I don't know. Like, the army of Cure is very close. You're never gonna get a Nidus going over here. Yeah, that is a bad moment to burrow, but he's still gonna get a couple SCPs. They will burrow down, they will probably be just scanned and killed in a little while. As long as Q remembers, at least. Yeah, with Ragnarok moving through the middle, looking for the right opportunity to strike. Yeah, this Nidus Worm will be killed by the Planetary. That is not a good spot to chop down on Nidus Worm. Vikings will see the others and will try to chase them down. Of course, there's queens there to defend them, so they will probably be saved. Ragnarok is mining out though. There's still a lot of resources over here for Cure. Ragnarok cannot really say the same. Like, he's starting to mine right now from here. There's still full Vespines, there's still full minerals. But he wants to take this base. He's not working with a lot of resources right now. Both of the players are building up a bank, but the bank by Cure is just miles ahead just because he has double the Vespine. Drop loads. We'll try to get a couple lurkers over here in this mineral line, and they will manage. Here they go. Burrow, guys. Going to burrow. Couple knights will prevent Ragnarok from getting any damage onto the base. Scan forward by Cure. We'll make sure that these lurkers go down without dealing too much damage. Over here though, Ragnarok is moving forward and he will try to fight at choke point. Actually building up a concave with the lurkers, not exactly what you want most of the times, especially the tanks being so... Oh my god, the Banelings though! The Banelings have destroyed the army of Cure, chasing it down into the tiniest choke point possible. It's just lurkers against everything else right now. The Ghost will drop snipe after snipe after snipe after snipe. And here comes the Liberator trying to set these lurkers back. Army of Cure was absolutely destroyed. His production is not that great as well, and he lost 14 SCPs with this. Ragnarok probably found exactly what he needed. But he needs to finish the game right now, and that's a tough thing to do against players such as Cure. The Lings will try to chase down as much bio as possible. They might be cracklings, but this is +3/+3 bio. It hurts like a truck, and it doesn't go down that easily. This worm is going up over here, and it feels like it will barely not go up. Just the production of Cure will make sure that the single Nidus will fall down before granting Ragnarok another big advantage, at least statically. So Ragnarok was finally able to retake this golden, but now holding it is another big feat. Not a lot of fighting in this game. A lot of big fights, but not a lot of fighting. Again, droplets time. Ragnarok always tries to spread his army in different locations and hurt his opponent when he's paying attention to something else. Cure has been doing a decent job at avoiding as much damage as possible. Just these the lurkers in the Nidus the first time, those were kind of deadly. They hit a lot of production. One single drop alert ahead will get the focus of all of these missile turrets and will be killed before the more important ones will be even focused down. The Planetary Fortress is under attack, but it will not go down, and this feels like a waste of resources. This is drop alert thing, and it's not doing anything for Ragnarok. He lost so many drop alerts for basically no reason. And now he's kind of stuck into just producing lanes. I feel like he needs pain lanes, and he needs a lot of them, and he doesn't really have a lot of minerals to begin with. Cure is moving forward over here. Like, his supply is very strong, his army is incredibly big and strong, and the Liberators are gonna make it very complicated to maneuver around, but the blinding clouds on top of the tanks have been absolutely amazing. Amazing enough? Not really. Cure takes game number 2 of the series. A little bit of an anticlimactic ending, but what a clean play by Cure. Alright, spawning pool first. Being careful around proxies. It's a good start. There's quite a lot of good proxy spots on Data C, just due to the nature of this map being super weird. Like, there's a lot of hidden spots, a lot of nooning crannies, where you can place something hidden from your opponents. You can see both overlords actually checking for proxies. Not really checking for anything down here because it's a little bit too far. You have to walk to a lot of ramps. But it feels like Ragnarok is probably content knowing that this is most likely not a proxy. And it isn't. Surprise, surprise. Lings will still check over here on the bottom side. Again, not find anything. Right now, Ragnarok has basically covered the entirety of the map and can send his Lings in, at least trying to delay this command center, which he will. I think he will. Just 4 Lings, it's not 6. But it's enough to stop these SCV actually get a kill. And you can see these, another Marine dies. Yeah, and the SCVs will be forced chasing down this lane. Give me the opportunity to scout down the whole base for the Terran player. Reaper will be sent back to deal with the last lane, get a killing blow, and then move out again. Ragnarok was able to actually slow down this for such a long time. Very good play from the Zerg player with his 16 pool. And again, Cure, not really that great at dealing with early aggression whatsoever, even though it's not uber aggression, just tiny bits of aggression. Like, even in the series versus Cyan, it was just never really that great against the early aggression. Ooh, that's an early there. I was about to talk about the fact that Ragnarok didn't keep his drones out of gas after starting Metabolic Boost. I thought it was like it would just forgot. But then looking closer, there's no third. Like, this is going to be somewhat aggressive. What is it going to be though? There's only 1 gas being taken. Well, that makes 2. That makes 3. 3 Vespene Geysers. We don't see Roach Warren yet. Oh, 4. Is this a Spire play? I think it definitely is. This is most likely a Spire play. I don't really see any other explanation. If he wanted to go for some kind of bust, he would have dropped the Baneling nest by now. 8 more drones. It's like, if you go for an early layer, you want to drop down some tech immediately. Otherwise, it's just really wasted. Oh yeah. Here comes a Spire. Unnatural. Cure has Banshees to try and get some vision around. It's not gonna be easy though. Barely enough fun in equipped team surviving 1 health. We into the main, the Banshees will make their way, get 2 kills. Lightweight, a single Banshee at least. Oh, not gonna get a second one. He will. A third one, sorry. Spy is about to complete. Cure just has no idea about this. There's no hand that has been shown by RAGNAROK whatsoever. The Baneling Nest has been finishing as well. Yeah, like the only tell this is a early lair will be not seeing Banelings this early into the game, but again. Oh, finally Banshee will see the Spire. As I was saying, but again, like, there's not a single way for Cure to scout it if not the Banshee. And the Banshee manages to see this, which is very convenient, just at the right time. The racks dropped down by Cure. The last one and Steam incoming. And we can see the missile turrets being spread around by the Terran player to deal with the incoming mutas. 9 drones have been fallen down. To what? To the aliens, most likely. Right? If I see aliens dead. No aliens dead. But the mutas have made their way throughout the map. Now battling against Marines. It's not all the Marines, but I don't really see the reason to battle them. Well, yeah, right now it's only the missile turrets right now, like in this main. A couple more Marines will spawn, and now 7 of them are being made at once. Yeah, these mutas are just committing onto stuff for no real reason at all. Like, killing a couple Marines is decent, killing 2 SCVs is also decent. Yeah, this is much better. This orbital command will need it to be lifted, but the mutas will also chase it around. I don't know if this is going to be a kill. There's still a lot of army for Cure over here. Yeah. RAGNAROK will decide against committing onto this. But for the time being, it does look like Cure feels a little bit pinned in his own side of the map. And he's not really developing anything. He's getting his key upgrades, yes, he's getting some tech. But he's not getting anything done on the map, and you can see that by RAGNAROK having 70 workers right now. Double Evo Chamber will drop down at a later stage, 12 Lings and 17 Banelings. Not a lot, but of course it's gonna be very good for defense. This is one of the moments in which the Zerg player is at its weakest. Doesn't really have a +1 flyer attack started, doesn't really have a lot of army ongoing for him. But Cure doesn't really have much either. Oh, the mutas chasing down the Medivacs, the Vikings, or whatever they can find while the Banelings roll down everything. Yeah, the mutas will definitely go in and clear whatever is left of the army of Cure. This might be also GG. Like, RAGNAROK is pressing that Z key super hard. And he's gonna be trying to roll down his opponent. The wall is up. Well, down. And that means the Lings will get into the middle line. There's still a lot of Marines. Defense advantage will kick in and will mean that a lot of SCVs will be saved. But the Lings will all be shot down. Well, not all, I shall say. But in the end, the Medivacs will be able to keep most of the SCVs alive. Only 4 of them falling down. More and more mutas are incoming. RAGNAROK never really able to keep, like, exactly how many mutas he wanted to keep. I mean, this is ooh, I guess you're good now. This is far from being critical mass, and is honestly probably never gonna be. If RAGNAROK finds a way to deal some damage, real damage, to his opponent, it will be mostly on the ground, while mutas snipe key units. +1/+1 incoming for RAGNAROK, while Cure is halfway through his +2/+2. Thus will be looking for reinforcements, or at least something out of the way. Seen forward by the Marines will prevent them from ever getting too close to the blue army. They will get close on dot side. Yeah, okay. Snapping down a Widowmine, not bad. Losing a muta for that, I don't know about it. RAGNAROK trying to set up some kind of run by. There's already Widow Mines being spread around. And yeah, you can see this. Widow Mines are just so good at stopping out this kind of blaze. Again, the Mutas find themselves in quite a pickle. A steam forward will ensure they need to run away. How many Medivacs does Cure have? He has 8. He can easily replenish the health of these Bioforces. As you can see, another steam forward to try and chase down more and more Mutas. RAGNAROK is approaching being maxed out very soon in this game, by the way. But Cure just looks like he has a better army, and he's also moving out over here. Oh, the Banelings are rolling forward though, you need to be very careful about that. Yeah, like, oh my goodness. Half of the army of Cure just basically suicided into these Banelings, and now Ling and Builder Run-bys are going to ravage the economy of Cure. Not really getting on top of his production, but everything else is being absolutely destroyed. And over here, the army of Cure is just not really defending them much better. One Widow Mine will fail to burrow into that mineral line. Here comes the reinforcements from RAGNAROK. And here comes the Mutas as well to try and chase down the last few remaining Medivacs. They will chase most of them down. They're all empty. Yeah. RAGNAROK finds more and more damage. Here comes the reinforcements from Cure. Not a lot of Mutas to fight with for RAGNAROK, but the rest of it is just completely in his favor. More than doubled the workers of his opponent, and his army is also looking pretty significant. You can see the lanes going for a surround with the Mutas dancing around the Widow Mines and chasing down the Medivacs. GG gets gold. RAGNAROK, super clean game number 3. In the top left hand corner, playing for Dragon Phoenix Gaming, is still at match point. He still needs only 1 victory out of the next 2 matches. Let's see if he can make it. It's Cure. In the bottom right, instead, his opponent playing for Alpha X, looking for the reverse sweep. Starting it off again with the Vespene Geyser first. It's RAGNAROK. I was talking before about how much I don't really see the reason for this. But who knows? Maybe it wouldn't prove me wrong. Maybe this time it's gonna be a little bit more rushy, a little bit more aggressive, Moondance. Not a long rush distance, I think it's 36 here, maybe 31 as well. It's a fairly short map. So, if you want to get aggressive in the early game, this is a very good map to do that. Yes, Pool Hatch for RAGNAROK. The 16 pool being an all-purpose tool. Just like a Swiss knife. You can use it to defend against proxies, you can use it to gain map control, you can use it to delay your opponent's natural, you can use it to all-in. It's just very, very good when you want to stay safe against proxies. Otherwise, just don't do it. Since Cure has shown us to kind of like proxies, as he did proxy in game number 1, RAGNAROK has just decided to stay as careful as possible around it for the rest of the series. It's a decision I totally respect. Once your opponent proxies once, he can always proxy. You always have to have in mind that this can be one of the ways he can win against you. So always react to what your opponent is doing in the series. And if he goes for aggressive cannon rushes, proxies, gateways or something, just go for your 16 pool and stay safe against it. Oh, actually one drone will be killed before RAGNAROK can drop down a sport crawler. Not the biggest of deals, but yeah. Anabolic boost is finished. And you can see a lot of lanes actually approaching this command center over here, which will not be cancelled in the turn into orbital command. The Lynx do not have enough DPS to actually get a kill on this before it completes. It will just immediately lift. And yeah, RAGNAROK is gonna probably be happy with this. Here losing mining time is of course really important, but here is also expanding over here in the pocket half base. Again, a very early lair on the side of RAGNAROK. He's looking for something similar. He has two Vespene Geysers taken into the main. He doesn't have a Bin in S. I don't really see any other reason. He's probably gonna get a third archery very soon and then just drop as many Vespene Geysers as possible. It's just... oh, here comes a Bin in S. Which, I mean, it's a given. Like, it's nothing surprising, let's be honest. And yeah, he's taking all of the Vespene Geysers. So yeah, this is most likely going to be again a Spire. Viking will chase down this Overlord, denying a little bit of scouting information for the third player. What has Cure in mind instead? Sending some aliens in. Liberator on the way actually. And the Spire will be started. It's a 2-base Spire from RAGNAROK. He's not even trying to take the third. He could at least take the pocket one, I guess. No, okay, he's gonna try and take it right now. It's a little bit on the latest side, but he feels like he has enough resources. I don't know. He's not gonna have a lot of mutas as soon as the Spire finishes, that's for sure. Like, it's gonna have probably 6, 7, I don't know. Maybe less, actually. And it's looking around to kill a couple crit tumors. We'll do exactly that. Of course, it's impossible for them to dive into the natural. Natural on Moondance is very, very narrow. And with the queens blocking the entry, it's gonna be even harder. What's over here? The Liberator has been dancing around Vision for a while. I see the Spire, most importantly. And also deny a lot of mining time. But yeah, one single link for RAGNAROK will get a kill actually, and get some scouting. We also see the pocket base being taken, while over here the third base of RAGNAROK still has to go up and has been scouted by Cure being very late. You can see RAGNAROK being 10 workers behind on his opponent. These mutas need to deal some serious damage and they most likely won't. Not with these low numbers, not with the missile turrets being already up. Yeah. Alright, these aliens will try to dive on top of the workers. They will get 6 kills. But they will also be cleared down. At this stage of the game, Cure is probably happy with this. Getting 6 kills is still pretty significant. Especially with RAGNAROK not really being able to get a strong economy whatsoever. Oh, down mutas are gonna fly over Bio. No, they will avoid it. To their best at least. But yeah, like, critical mass has yet to be achieved. Is very far from being achieved. This is a little bit of a threat, of course. Cure needs to react to this. Needs to keep his infantry armor upgrade up and standing. He will do so with just a few marines. While the rest of his army is moving through the middle. More and more mutas are being added to the mix by RAGNAROK, who's stabilizing a little bit on a much better economy. Still not exactly what he wanted to, but of course with the pocket base being taken, he can easily approach a better economical state in this game, and getting up control was the most important thing. Right now Cure though wants to try and get some damage in just when RAGNAROK is at its weakest, but the mutas are starting to add up in number. Fly attacks level 1 is finished as well. It's a double wall of supply leaflets. Has to be extra careful around the Rambais of Ragnarok. It's really lovely. But yeah, Cure is a little bit stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. Doesn't really feel like he can send these units out. It doesn't really feel like he can send these units in. Scan forward, killing a couple more Crypt Tumors. Crypt Spread, of course, looking very bad for Ragnarok in this game. With having one less archery to work with, you had a lot less queens to work with. So it's really not surprising. Also, very good job by Cure at stopping Crypt Tumors on its track every single time. We don't mind, won't get the shot on top of the Mutas. But yeah, this map control by the Mutas is everything that's keeping Ragnarok alive, and it's a very good way to play this style. Tours are being added to the mix as well. Now that the Mutas are starting to add up in numbers, it'll be important to have in your main army. Second one in the making, of course. These Mutas just not able to sneak past the Marines and chase down a little bit. And of course, still not finding damage. Tense game. Just look for something, only to be greeted by the tool. 4 more missile turrets being spread around by Cure. Wants to stay super careful around these Mutas. Honestly, looking pretty decent. A little bit over defensive maybe, but you don't want to take your chances. How many Mutas is this, by the way? 17, it's a good amount. Medivac will be sniped. A couple Marines will steam forward, trying to get on top of the Mutas. Not managed to do so. Here comes a run by. Be intercepted by the Widowmine, and yeah. Will be intercepted, yes, but to what extent? It does look. Oh, the Mutas are flying into a very dangerous position. But yeah, the Lings didn't really get too much going. The production out of Cure was able to make short work of them. Here comes the Hive, this time with a standard timing. And the two players basically got to late game without really doing much to each other. Just a gentleman's agreement to get to late game, it seems. Cure is gonna strike a little bit earlier than his opponent, but there's still so many Banelings over here, you don't really want to commit into that. Widowman will fall down before dropping down another shot. And the Lings will break down the wall, getting on top of the natural mineral line, and even going to approach the pocket base one. See a lot of army from Cure stationed over here, but in the end, that's quite a lot of lost workers. I mean, say, yeah, it's just 4. Well, starting to add up. 7 total, with Ragnarok being 24 workers ahead. That's nothing to really frown upon. Yavi is about to finish. Right now, Ragnarok wants to find a big fight, but he doesn't really have +2 flyer attack yet. The doors are being spread around. Here comes a huge surround, a huge flank with the Banelings detonating on top of everything they can find. The Thor tanking up so much damage, dealing so much damage themselves, and the Thor is still alive, still standing. The one bastion of this army. More and more Banelings are gonna be made, the Mutas still not being used in the main fight. And Cure will retreat to lick his wounds. He acknowledges he has a much worse economy than his opponent, and he acknowledges he needs to stay extra careful. Over here the Mutas with +2 flyer attack, they can finally become a main battle unit. Not really against Thors, but they can really deal some serious damage right now. +3 being started as well from the Zerg player. The Widowmine shot, nothing good this time. It looks like the Mutas will finally dive on top of the Thor. The rest of the army of Cure is cutting backwards. There's not a single Baneling with his army though, meaning that Ragnarok needs to cut backwards himself. But he's getting good fight after good fight after good fight. Ragnarok again playing a super clean game. Adrenal glands incoming. Ragnarok. Again, he finds himself in a position he wants to find the finishing blow. He needs to find the finishing blow. Otherwise, it can become complicated for him to finish the game in the later stages. Especially against Cure, who's shown us quite some resilience in the later stages of the game. In a similar game state to this one, to be honest. Midas will dive, of course, on top of the missile turrets. A couple of them are gonna fall down. But there's no more missile turrets in his main base. Meaning that much will be sniped down by the Midas. Deagle plating, level 2 being the first one, of course. And yeah, this Marauder probably being the second. Again, it's another missile turret that goes down. But the Midas turn around and bring the fight to the Marines. Right now, they know they can. Cure is sending his army out over here in the bottom right. There's a lot. Oh my god. Huge lag drop. There's a lot of banelings over here though, so it's gonna be kind of complicated. It does feel like Cure is underestimating these Midas pretty heavily. Lots and lots of Midas are dying one after the other. But Cure, does he really have enough to break through over here? It does feel like he doesn't. Marauders have been tanking a lot of damage. Here comes more and more banelings. Gonna bait down the Widowmine shot. And... well, the Thor stays alive. Which is more than I was expecting. The banelings still marching forward, still looking for more blood. Cure is reinforcing the location. Ragnarok is finally sending his Midas back. Easy though? He needs to find a way to defend against this because the reinforcements of Cure are starting to add up. They're starting to break through actually. There's not a lot of banelings out here anymore and there's still so many Marauders tanking the shots. The Bio is scouting backwards, killing one baneling after the other. The connections are good though, and here comes the Hydras to save the day. The Midas might come around, cutting off reinforcements as they've been doing so far in this game, and maybe even cleaning up these Medivacs. Ragnarok might have found a way past these Marauders, these Thors, the Midas chasing down the last few Medivacs. There's only one Thor left. And not a lot of Medivacs to collect it back up. It looks like the tables have turned. And it's now Ragnarok looking out for blood. More army supply, more worker supply. Ragnarok looking strong to get the equalizer. Lurkadine is incoming with Hydras getting out of those eggs just exactly. And Ragnarok needed them. Banelings are gonna be made over here on the right side. This is, yeah. The Widowmine shot doesn't kill the eggs. They have a little bit too much armor. A little bit too much health as well. Cure is still looking for a way to deal damage over here. It just feels like Ragnarok is too much right now though. Like, yeah, look at this. This planetary is going down. And again, there's so many banelings. They don't want to detonate onto the planetary. They will get away from there and leave to bust onto Bio another day. But the planetary goes down. And there's again, there's not much going on for Cure. There just isn't. His economy is nothing to scream at. His army is often off position and not really as strong as the one of Ragnarok. And Ragnarok is even teching up right now. He's getting this lurk attack to the next stage, Seismic Spines. Just now completing, and it's time for Adaptive Talents to be, of course, the follow-up. Another command center falls down over here on the right side. Cure is trying to break through, but Ragnarok has been sparing so much of his own army on the right side to try and deal with this. There's so many more banelings if they do not cut the deal over here, but they will do that, because here comes the Medivacs collecting everything after the flank. Ragnarok diving again over this base over here. The snaps are going on top of the Hydras, but the banelings are marching forward. They're busting through everything. The Widowmine shot is not as good as Cure wanted. There's still so many banelings, but for now, Cure holds, even just barely. 44 more lings incoming. There's so many Zerglings out there right now. The Rookers are looking for a flank. They're looking to move up on the high ground. They're looking to get a kill on the center tower over here on the right side. Curie is committing. I don't know about that. There's nothing to surround this army. The Banelings are marching forward. The Widowmine shots are not that great. Oh, here comes the flank. I was wrong about it. Reinforcements got in the deal for Ragnarok. GG gets gold and we're going to game 5, everybody. Again, 16 pool. You don't want to lose the last game of the series to a proxy you were not prepared against. You're just not gonna go for that. But as I was saying before, he's shown us in game 1, sorry, that he can do that. So better be careful against it. And honestly, the 16 pool out of Ragnarok has always been finding quite some damage, like slowing down Cure by quite a fair bit in his natural, so might as well go for it and be safe against proxies at the same time. Sixlings are marching through the middle. They will not be intercepted by the Reaper, just barely. They will pass around each other. Very good game knowledge by Ragnarok, knowing exactly when the Reaper passes through here and going over here, instead of waiting elsewhere and eating a fair bit earlier than you usually do. Yeah, cancelling the tech lab, of course, meaning that these lanes have a free way in. The late command center on the low ground has just one single marine for defense over here. The Reaper needs to go back home. A couple SCVs are gonna fall for this. Yeah, like 16 pool is just good. Especially when you're spawning in the top right and the Terran is in the bottom left, because sometimes they will go for this kind of array. Well, they have to go for this kind of array. And this is something that's special, as I mentioned sometimes, that for the Terran player, spawning on the bottom left is just straight up worse than spawning on the top right, and it's pure randomness, due to being much more vulnerable to this kind of plays, because you have to wall off with the add-on instead than with the whole building, as you would if you spawn over here by blocking with the racks over here and the add-on being over here. With supply decot and supply decot, right? So Ragnarok taking advantage of this, showing us good game knowledge by dodging around the Reaper and still dealing a little amount of damage. Like, it's not like he wants to deal a game-ending damage. It's not like this is a 16 pool rush. Let's all remember, this is a play that you go for to blindly defend against proxies. And then you take those 6 links and you make something of it. And making this much out of them is always very, very good, because you actually find yourself ahead in macro with a build that should set you a little bit back, because you're blindly countering something. So, very good play by Ragnarok throughout the 2 series, honestly. He went for 16 pool many, many times. This time we do not have an early there. Billy Nest at a very standard timing. We're probably gonna see a 5-minute lair with probably 5 Vesping guys being taken to try and get into Hydra tech as soon as possible. Banshees is the play from Cure, with aliens being sent out to start gaining some map control and stop crypt humors on their tracks. Cure has an armory, right? Yes, it does. So we're gonna see an Elbat push yet again. If you've seen me cast in the past, you know how much I despise this build with all of myself. I feel like this is the possible worst build you can go for as the Terran player. It doesn't really set you back, but it never does anything. Like, let's see if it does anything. There's already Banelings out right now. The Queens are slightly off position, meaning that this build does nothing, guys. This build does absolutely nothing. Like, come on, change my mind. Tell me that Elbat pushes do something. They do nothing. I don't know. I just hate it. I just hate to see it. It's just a silly way to set you back a little, slow down the game to an unnecessary amount, and then you have to drop down a million production facilities after, because you just have a lot of units you can't make anything out of. Yeah, like right now you're just gonna go into the main and just drop aliens, which is a good way to kind of make something out of this. But yeah, Ragnarok is always gonna be prepared against this. The Banshees join their forces right now, and they maybe can do something alongside the Elbat push on the other side, but the Ants has already been shown a little bit by here. So yeah, a couple of 15ers will die. You can see over here the workers being one-shot. So 4 workers going down is basically a given. Killing down a Vespene Geysers is a decent thing to do. But yeah, these Elbats are just gonna move in and then move out once the Banelings get in position. Over here, Ragnarok though, this is super interesting. He will not find a base, he will find the army of Hyur trying to move from natural to third. And he will not even really try to force a lift, it seems. With the army of Hyur getting into position. As a tank, so yeah, of course, it's a good choice. But again, well, the Elbats are just strolling back home, like the walk of shame is a bit of a frame drop for some reason. These Banshees, on the other hand, they've been really doing a lot of work. Landing speed kicks in. +1/+1. Midway through as well. One of the Banshees will fall down. Over here, Ragnarok finds a way to kill a lot of the units of Hyur. Because you know what? Hellbats are slow. And Ragnarok can just hug the tank, kill it, and move away. Yeah, it really feels like right now Hyur wants to get something going, but he just cannot find a way to get some real damage. Which is unfortunate for him. Like, he's been playing so good today. Ooh. Yeah, this time the Baneling Mine will not do anything. +1/+1 will kick in for Hyur just slightly before his opponent. 16 more Banelings are incoming, but here comes a huge run by again. Getting quite a lot of damage. The rocks are still up over here. There's no tanks behind these rocks, meaning that surrounds are largely not useful. How many Banelings is this? This is a million. 41+7, like 50 Banelings, like so early in the game. And there's still these many Lings hiding over here. Oh. They will force this tank so much friendly fire. I'm still not getting enough damage onto them mirror line. I was expecting more, not gonna lie. A scan forward here. We'll start sieging up tanks. Start building up his slow push. The Banelings will move in a little bit too soon, but yeah, oh my goodness. That's so much army for Ragnarok. Diving on top of these Marines, very good collection by Hyur, dodging out so much actually. Ragnarok, kind of a blunder in this fight. He lost so much for little reason at all. And this base now is doomed, you cannot escape from there. You're gonna be chased down. So many drones are falling down. Bane's just not connecting. And the League's just not getting on top of the tank. This tank is completely unscathed, he's untouched. That's not a good thing, especially when you could have had Queens over here attacking it. Not a good fight from Ragnarok, just in the game it mattered the most. I've been saying throughout this series how both of these players have been playing very, very clean. This game number 5, just... Ragnarok just a little bit too passive, maybe. Just not really getting the great fights he's been constantly taking throughout the series. And now he's in a very desperate situation, it feels. The army of Hyur is super strong. He's been leapfrogging tanks forward like crazy. The surround is not an option, you don't have enough Banelings, you don't have enough Lings. +2/+2 is now under threat. Ragnarok, yeah, he's trying to cut off reinforcements, he's trying to wait for the right moment to strike, he's sending the Queens in. Now he's going in for the flank. Can he get on top of the tank? Can he get connections with the Banelings? The tank is right now being threatened by a couple Lings. The Banelings will get decent connections. Are they decent enough? The tank is going down. The army supply is heavily inflated on the side of Hyur by the Medivacs. But here comes the reinforcements. The reinforcements want to close out the deal. The Banelings will get the connections in the choke point though. There's one more tank. The Lings moving on creep. Gonna make it hard for Cure to maneuver around the army of Ragnarok. There's not a lot of larva though. Is there? No, just 6 larva. Ragnarok needs a decisive maneuver, needs to make something happen. I don't know if the counterattack is the way to go right now. It feels like a little bit of a desperate situation for the Zerg player right now. The counter will get something going, but there's so much defense over here. Like production and of course the tank, and now Cure sees Lings in his own base and decides to commit onto this. +2/+2 will finish for Ragnarok actually. Being able to deal with this. Here comes the Lings going around everything they can. There's Liberator to defend the tanks. Both of the tanks go down actually. Will Ragnarok be able to buy back? No, he just isn't barely able to push Cure away from this location. Another steam forward, another bit of damage onto the archery, and Cure gets the victory in game number 5 of the finals.